Yes. It's road bustle. Road bustle! That was a bit weird. So this is the main menu. There are no options, but you press options to start. And a second after you start, it's over. Well, your first run is over, and that's where you learn that you must not step on manhole covers, because they will spring out of the ground, do a flip, and you'll die. That makes no sense. What does make a lot of sense in Road Bustle is absolutely nothing. The world here is a valley, maybe 200 meters wide, but infinity long, crossed by infinite east-west roads and railways. The roads are only driven on by police cars, ambulances, and taxis. There are houses and office buildings thrown all over the place. There are bollards and barricades on the grass. We're just running north or south. I haven't worked out if it's the morning or evening yet, or what we're running for. A lot of things are left open to interpretation here, or maybe they're not even supposed to be thought about. Don't try and interpret Road Bustle. It's not safe. Don't even think about it. Just run that way and make the number go up. Avoid being killed in a road accident and listen to rap. I don't know what to say about that, but the green arrow above my head is casting a shadow, meaning that it's an object in the game world and not part of the UI. And it makes sense that it's not part of the UI, because the player could not possibly need the green arrow. It's ridiculous. How could you forget which way you're going in Road Bustle? Your score only advances when you're going the right way. That should be enough guide, or just keep the sun on your left. Maybe the green arrow exists in-universe, and it's the reason why the protagonist is going that way. I don't know particularly why I started running. I just put on this red backpack one day and the green arrow appeared above my head and I thought I'd better go follow it. Don't have much else to do. I think there are 4 tracks on the soundtrack, and this one is much more catchy, although still quite repetitive. Not that that matters in this game's incredibly short duration. It's not a game you'll find yourself coming back to. It's not a game that'll make its way into the greatest games that involve crossing roads, with Frogger, Freeway for the Atari 2600, and maybe Yakuza 5. But it is cheap. In Australia, it's $1.45 at full price. I waited for a sale and bought it for 93 cents. Elsewhere around the world, at full price, it's 99 cents in the US, 99 euro cents in most of Europe, 95 euro cents in Finland, they're lucky, 79 pence or 37 Thai baht. No matter how you look at it, it's a similar price to a beef sui min. Noodles can at least satisfy one's hunger, but Road Bustle only satisfies a trophy hunter's hunger for the quickest, cheapest, easiest platinum one can find. Whereas in other games, to get all the trophies in a game, you'd have to do all the things, maybe play on a higher difficulty, find collectibles, play for 8, 10, 20, 40, 200 hours. In Road Bustle, you walk until your score reaches 16,000. That's it. 22 trophies and a platinum, under 15 minutes, cheaper than chips. That's the sales pitch, and 50,000 people bought it in its first year. No, more. 50,000 is just going off PSN profiles, and that's a small portion of the user base. Let's say conservatively 100,000 people bought it, since PSN profiles is most of the trophy hunters. That's $100,000 spent on Road Bustle. I don't know the specifics of how much money went to Sony and how much money went to the developer Random Spin Games, who are based in Balts, Moldova, but I'm pretty sure 100,000 sales for a game like this is a pretty healthy success. Now, does the game have any redeeming qualities other than its price and its trophies? Let me go have a look. Sound design, sometimes it actually does sound like the real hustle and bustle of the road. Other times the traffic wind noise goes away and you only hear honking. Yep, oh well. Having 2 different cameras is nice. This one's quite immersive and the other one's more of a classic arcadey view. The stars over your head when you're knocked out, good cartoony feature there. Wow, I really have to look for all the small details. There's a quality of life feature. When you hit game over, when you're over 10,000 score, you restart from 10,000, just to make sure the game isn't too long for you or anything. There are vehicles like that hoverboard I just sat on. There are restaurants that say restaurant. Just, quite surreal and profound, really. I mean, it's just restaurant. We don't know what they serve there. And there's no other humans who walk on foot. Nobody stops for restaurant. What's it all about? There are, of course, those 4 tracks on the soundtrack I mentioned. Come on, what else is good? I don't want to say the lighting. I really don't like the bloom and the haze. The screen tearing's a bit annoying. This was, I think, the peak of my excitement with the game. This extremely navigable 4x4. And I drove it past this milkshake shop. Of course, you can't do anything with the milkshake shop. But then there was another one right around the corner. Yeah. There's hot air balloons. Really, everyone's going places east and west except me. Why am I the only one moving latitudinally? What's the deal? Road Bustle's a great mystery. There's so many train tracks, so many, and so many little platforms, so many places to sit. No one is here. I suppose it's some sort of metaphor or nightmare or something, I don't know. I think that's an in thing. There's quite a lot of indie games that say they're designed like a fever dream to excuse the fact that they're randomly generated and just art assets are vomited all over the place in ways that don't make any sense. If drip paintings are art, I suppose Road Bustle is very much a drip painting, and therefore art. Wonder if any museum will be willing to have this as an installation. I'm no trophy elitist, okay? I'm not a snob. I like playing games, I like collecting trophies. I understand that the points they give you are fungible. A platinum's a platinum, anywhere. But anyone knows if you take a good look at a collection, they all tell individual stories. And of my common platinums, yes, they're extremely easy. Look, Sly Cooper's a great game, happens to be easy. Spare Parts was a fun game that was easy. Snaky Bus is extremely easy, but I bought it because it's a great concept. Perils of Baking, decent Mario clone for Vita. 36 Fragments of Midnight, I bought it because it was my favourite number. Yeah, it's a rather like a game. Habroxia, really easy spaceship game, but had cross-play, kept me entertained for a little while. Glass Masquerade has a beautiful soundtrack and is a good jigsaw puzzle game. My Name is Mayo is a joke game. Yes, I understand it's hardly a game. Midnight Deluxe is a golf platformer, but again, it just takes a few minutes. Storm Boy is a 20-minute long adaptation of a book. A very short book, classic Australian novel, but the game's even shorter. Point I'm trying to make with that is, Road Bustle is right down the bottom of that list because pretty much everyone who's bought the game bought it for the trophies, not bought the game and then went for them. Wow, I died from a manhole cover again. It was hiding in the shadows. Road Bustle, you cannot talk about it without mentioning the trophies. The two are inexorably linked. That is all it will be famous for. There's not much to talk about besides that because there's just so little effort put in. Yes, the result is this crazy, absurd weirdness, but there's no inspired thought behind it. This isn't like Edward Lear. This is just random stuff. Random spin. There you go, random spin. Now I know why they're called random spin games. Spin paintings, not drip paintings. Anyway, if you want instant gratification and you want it now, and you don't care what the game is, you just want to spend very little money, there you go. That's Road Bustle. It ticks those boxes. Oh, the trophies don't work 100% correctly. They don't pop in the correct order. I got the trophy for 11,000, then 12,000, then 16,000, and then I had to play again to get 12,500, 13,000, and so on. But even still, it took me 14 minutes, so it's that short. I mean, this review is shorter than the game, but it took me like hours. I don't know, roll credits. It's 12:40 AM, what am I doing?